Angeles.
That's true.
He did. After having a Classic 1 victory lap that didn't quite feel quite as good as you thought it would, did it, buddy? That's why you were so mad. Is now dealing with the aftershocks of going out on a limb and then realizing, uh-oh, it's a little shakier than I thought.
I feel confident.
Uh-oh, I could be wrong. Okay. Uh-oh, something that I have grilled into the audience 23 times. Our buddy KW has tweeted, no one is beating Denver in a 7-game series. Brew, when you missed him, you also missed he made funny at-home social media sizzle reels. We can play it for you if we could, huh?
Oh, this is good. I didn't license
How
this.
do I remain so confident? I'm always reminding myself, bang, no one's beating Denver in a 7-game series. I'm going to say it 100 times. I'm always reminding myself.
My drawer, it's my laundry, it's a microwave.
Yeah, so
I ended it with a Mac Jones.
He ended it with a Mac Jones joke that I took out to be kind. Wild.
Let me throw this at you, Wiles.
Ooh.
It is difficult to repeat in the NBA.
That is
it
the
though?
The last repeat champion was 2018 on an almost unfairly stacked Golden State team with Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and those guys. Before that, you got to go back to what? The Miami Heat.
A stacked
team with a glutton's amount of Hall of Famers. And then before that, Kobe.
That, to be fair, that's the only one without a stacked team.
Right. But that was before this huge kind of Big Three era. But it's just tough, man.
I'm not moving off of the prediction.
Until after tonight. Okay. Now, I'm not saying they're going to lose
If you would move off it after tonight, then I think you
I'm not moving off of it.
But you called it a must-win.
It's a must-win because historically it's a must-win.
The Clippers came back from losing the first.
They were the last ones to do it. It's happened 29 times.
No, it's only come back 5.
Five teams have won the series. 24 have lost. So just statistically,
Yao and McGrady. So some good players.
That's what I'm saying. But tonight is a must-win. So would I still be believing in Denver? Yeah, definitely. But I still believe.
So here's to your point, Brew, about it being hard to repeat. I want to expand on that because it's not only that it's hard to repeat; it's that in the moment after a championship, it almost always, Kawhi with the Raptors doesn't really count because he left. It almost always feels like, well, why is this team ever not going to win the next championship? The Lakers win the title. The next year, they have the best record in basketball. They are the Vegas favorites to win the title until LeBron gets hurt. The next year, Milwaukee wins the title. They're rolling. Everything's great. Right. Middleton gets dinged. Tatum has the game of his life. And by the way, neither the Lakers nor the Bucks have, been that close since then. The Lakers made a conference finals. The next year, Golden State wins the title. They open the following season as the co-favorites to win. It doesn't ever get off the ground because Draymond. No, I'm talking about 2 years ago.
With Durant.
I'm talking about 2 years ago. I'm just going. Lakers won.
That was a bad
It looked like they were going to.
But notice
Milwaukee won.
the common denominator in everything you said. An injury.
And
Jamal, even though he's playing.
And so, but the other piece of it is this: those 4 teams seem miles away from championship contention right now, miles away. And so I know there's been a lot of, I heard it happened, the other day that Jokic is already the greatest international player ever. That he is, and I don't think he's greater than Hakeem. It was really a Jokic-Dirk discussion. Set that aside. There's talking, there's talks about a Denver dynasty. I'm saying if they were to lose this round, it's going to feel a lot like Milwaukee, where it's like, okay, they'll be fine.
I said that months ago. If you really care enough, go dig back into I make a lot of videos, guys. I make like 6-8 videos a day. Go find it. Go search. I said that because I said that if the Denver Nuggets do not win, I said they have a path right now. They will either actually win again and will be truly successful and be seen as this great elite team with Jokic, or they could end up like the Milwaukee Bucks, where they lose and it's like, okay, they were a great team, but they were able to take advantage of these older teams and these younger teams, and that the stars align for them to be able to succeed, and that especially if they don't win this year, that it's only going to get harder, and the likelihood of them winning moving forward gets harder and harder and harder, because everybody was trying to crown Jokic and the Nuggets as this unstoppable force. And I pushed back on that. I said that they're amazing and they're a great team, but they are not the juggernaut of the San Antonio Spurs. They are not the juggernaut of the Lakers. They are not the juggernaut of the Miami Heat. They are not the juggernaut of the Golden State Warriors. So, and even when I emphasized that, I underemphasized it. I wish I emphasized it even more, because I still left the door open to be like, listen, I still think that Denver should be able to get the job done. But then the Timberwolves decided to hit the fast forward button, and OKC decided to hit the fast forward button. They're like, nah, we're ready now. Let's go. And it's been very impressive of those other teams. And so I just want to say, I want to emphasize that it's really been interesting, because people have been talking up the Denver Nuggets and the Jokic incredibly high. And rightfully so, and understandably so. But the reality is this. Let's say Jamal Murray goes down, or let's say he's just not 100%. Is that going to be the excuse for why Jokic couldn't win? Because we don't afford that to these other players. We don't afford that to Joel Embiid. We don't afford that to LeBron James. We don't afford that to Steph Curry, KD. We don't afford that to anyone, ever. We always say, that's not an excuse. That's not an excuse. You got to get the job done. You got to get the job done. So to me, if they do not beat the Timberwolves, that will be massive. Because this is what I kept saying too, that all the greats, the true greats, that Jokic is on his path to becoming, but the true greats, they win multiple championships and go to multiple championships again and again and again, or the finals at least, again and again and again. LeBron, Shaq, I'm just doing recent ones. LeBron, Shaq, Kobe, Steph, KD, and then it's like Tim Duncan. And then that's why I called out the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis. It's like Giannis went to 1 NBA Finals. People were talking about when he won that he was going to rip off 2, 3, 4. They were saying, I think it was Brew, and this was years ago, obviously, many years. Brew was like, is he going to go on a LeBron-like run right now? Like, this is his time coming into his prime. Now he's going to just be going to all these finals. That hasn't been close to that. And if Denver Nuggets, that happens, and they're just a one-and-done team, it just shows you how special the Warriors were. Because, listen, take away the KD years. The Warriors still went to the finals that first year, that second year, and then that third year in, 2021 or 2022, whatever the season was. That's 3 times. 3 times they went to what did they go? They went 3 times with KD, although KD got injured the one time, and then they went 3 times without KD. Like, that's amazing. So even if you want to say that those KD years were unfair, they still went 3 times without him. That matters. That matters. So I'm just curious to see what this does for Denver and Jokic's legacy. And there's plenty of years, right? They could easily get knocked out by Minnesota Timberwolves and then come back firing next year, right? They could make some acquisitions and who knows what they would get. But, it's just interesting because people did build up the Denver Nuggets as this unstoppable force. Everyone was pretty much saying it's a guarantee that they're coming out the West, from Colin to, First Take, like everywhere, Colin Cowherd. And now it's like, everyone's like, I don't know. And I was the one, and I don't want to be like, I'm the only one, but like, I was like, let's see, I think Denver, this feels like it's Denver's to lose, but, let's see. And at this point, it feels like that these other teams are just saying like, no, this isn't Denver's to lose. We're here to take it. Like it's actually not, we're not even taking it from them. It's just up to grab, And I think I think it's been very fascinating to watch this unfold because this is the first time throughout the playoffs that people are now questioning Denver and Jokic. You know, Jokic played a really great game against the Timberwolves, but not great enough. You know, like Anthony Edwards was the one that everybody was talking about, not Jokic. That's really fascinating right now. That is really fascinating because it was just like, this is Jokic's time. A lot of people are telling me in the comments, Jokic is the face of the league, whether he wants it or not. And it's like, if you're a one and done champion, you're not necessarily the face of the league. You know, if you get knocked out by 22-year-old Anthony Edwards, I don't know what to tell you. You know what made Steph skyrocket to fame and popularity was not only was his three-point shooting, of course, which just jumped off the screen and everybody was like, oh my God, this is amazing. But he went to the finals and won. And that's when obviously everyone started to really love him. And then that next season, they won a gajillion games. And then they went to the championship again. That highlighted this. Now they lost, but then they went to the finals again. And then they went to the finals again. Then they went to the finals. You know what I mean? Like they kept going. They kept going through all the rounds. They didn't get knocked out. If Steph Curry won the first time, you know, the Golden State Warriors in that second season, they still played great and were first place, even had the 73-win season or whatever, and then lost in the second round against, who would it have been? Not against the Rockets. I forget exactly who it would have been, who they played in the second round. The Blazers, maybe? I really don't remember. That it doesn't work that way. That would take out a tremendous amount of, air from the wings of Steph Curry's, popularity, legacy, and all that. So this is a pretty. I never like to just plant this flag and say, what does this say about someone's legacy? I always think that's too extreme. But this is theoretically a moment in time in Jokic's career that is potentially legacy defining. It just is. Because if he gets to another finals and wins, then everyone will be like, this guy is absolutely unstoppable. He is unbelievable, especially if Murray's not 100%. But if they lose, then now what that does is next season, people are still talking about Jokic, and they're still going to be praising Jokic, but he's sharing that praise now with Anthony Edwards, SGA. Again, it all depends on who ends up winning the championship. Maybe Jason Tatum, the Celtics. It's like whoever now wins next, it'll be like, well, who can stop the Timberwolves next season, or who can stop the Celtics next season, who can stop OKC next season. Like, it won't be Denver. Not to mention going into the playoffs that following season, people aren't going to be like, well, Denver's clearly going to make it to the finals. Like, it was a guaranteed, the Warriors are making the finals. The Cleveland Cavaliers are making the finals. That's how unstoppable those two teams were. When you had LeBron James in his prime, Steph Curry in his prime, KD in his prime. We have Jokic in his prime. Everybody was saying, well, they're clearly going to make the finals. And if that doesn't happen, that's when it's like, whoa, that's not what I was expecting to happen at all. Like, wait a second. Because people were pretty much saying it's a foregone conclusion that the Nuggets are going to make the finals, and actually that they're going to win. They were already saying, listen, the Celtics are a really great team, but if they lose, it's okay. Colin had a whole segment about it, about saying, like, it's okay if the Celtics lose to Denver Nuggets, because what are they supposed to do? The Denver Nuggets are this amazing team. Well, is that really the reality anymore? Has that bubble been popped? And to be very clear, I am not saying that the Denver Nuggets aren't a great team. I am not saying that at all. I'm not pulling Jokic down, not pulling down Jamal Murray. I love the Nuggets, quite honestly. I love their team, how they're constructed. They play beautiful basketball. They're very well composed. Each individual player knows exactly what their role is, and they stick to it. It's awesome basketball, truly. I am a fan of great, high-quality basketball. That's why I love to watch all the different games, all the different teams. I like to watch high-quality basketball because, to me, it really is a definition of poetry in motion. So I loved watching the San Antonio Spurs when they were in their prime. Loved watching the Golden State Warriors when they were in their prime because the ball movement, it was just great. Even when these other teams are winning, like, say, even the 76ers, I'm like, I don't enjoy watching that flow of game. It wasn't, it's not enjoyable necessarily to watch until they got Nick Nurse. Then things were a little bit more fun to watch. But Denver plays great basketball. They do. They play largely textbook basketball. But are they running into a team that is just simply better than them? Because they have players that are in their prime that they can't Denver Nuggets can't take advantage of. Denver Nuggets can't take advantage of Cat, of Ant, of Rudy Gobert like they were able to take advantage of D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, a 57-year-old LeBron James, an injury-prone, only has so much stamina Anthony Davis. You know, it's like, what are we talking about here? So I just think that this is going to be a fascinating series. I think it's absolutely a must-win for Denver. No ifs, ands, or buts. This is a must-win for Denver. If Denver loses this game, they lose the series. No shot, not a doubt in my mind. Because if they lose this game, they now drop 2 games at home. And they're now the doubt comes in. Oh my God. Are we not as good as we thought we were? No. We can't think that. We're the Denver Nuggets. You know, they got to start giving like these arousing, inspiring speeches. You got to dig deep. Is this what you want? Is this how we're going to go out? You know, and then it's all the coach speak and the players. And they have like a players only meeting. Come on, guys. We got to step up. You know, we know we're champions. We've been here before. And then now you're just not really focused on the actual basketball playing. And then now some of the play, you know, Michael Porter Jr. is all on his head, and now he's shooting, you know, 800 shots a day because he hasn't been shooting well and good enough now, and he feels like he's lost it. Jamal Murray's like, oh my God, my calf. And Jokic is like, all right, I'm going to need to score more. And he starts to get beyond what he normally is doing. He doesn't have the game now come to him. Instead, he's trying to like make the game, you know, about him. Like, things can unravel. Now, Gordon's like, all right, man, I got to, like, dunk more. I got to play harder defense on Anthony Edwards. Enough. Oh, crap. Now I'm in foul trouble. 4 fouls, and it's only the third quarter? You know, like, that's what happens. Things can unravel when you get beyond yourself. We've seen this with the San Antonio Spurs. We've seen this with the Miami Heat. We've seen this with the Lakers. We've seen this with the Golden State Warriors. That's what it happens. It happens to these teams. So, to me, it's a must-win. Because if they win, they say, all right, that game 1 was just weird. You know, that they punched, they gave us a great punch, but we are the better team. We got this. We're going to now go to Minnesota, and we're going to show them why we're the champions. They lose. I mean, listen, you drop 0-2. Minnesota just needs to win at least 1 game at home. You know, and then now it's 3. Now the series becomes 3-1. And now you're just like, all right. Now Denver has to beat us 3 times in a row. The chances of it happening are unlikely when you're a team that is as good as the Minnesota Timberwolves. So to me, this is a must-win. No ifs, ands, or buts. And I'm really excited to see what happens in this game. This game is just, the last game was really, really exciting. So those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. Do you think this is a must-win for Denver? And what do you think this says about the Denver Nuggets and Jokic if they do get bounced in this round and they don't get to the finals or win another championship this year? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.